Hi everybody, welcome to Tuesday Tidbits, part 2 of Duct Tape and Metal Flowers. And today we're going to finish up the series that we started last week. So we've got a few things to go over and I will go ahead and get started. So I'm going to lower my camera and I'll probably make you dizzy for a second, but just hang in there with me. Alright, right here in front of me are some examples of the flowers that I have made. And these right here are duct tape, just in a different style. If you remember last week, we had more of a rose style. And this week it's more of a petal style. And here's another one. This one I'm actually doing for Halloween. But this one that was that rose style. So these two are going to go together. And this one was actually just a lot of fun. I had taken chrome fingernail polish and created those drips there on the side. And then of course I put my backing on it, which is Velcro. And on these petals, I just took another piece of duct tape and hot glued it on there. So and with this, it's also Velcro on the petal flowers, and then I put embellishments in the middle, obviously. All right, here are the metal flowers that I have been telling you about. Here's just a various different amount, different colors and styles that I did them, and I'm going to go over real quick on how to do these. And these are actually being sent out in the mail today to a couple different people. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing that we're going to start with is with the petal flower. And what you need to have is duct tape, obviously. And I'm going to use this duct tape today, which is the peacock duct tape. And I just love it. It's so pretty, so gorgeous. And it's going to make a beautiful flower. So what you need to do is you need to tear approximately 8 to 10 inches. And you're going to pull 2. Because what you're going to end up doing, and I'll use this as a sample over here, is you're going to end up putting one piece right on top of the other, sticky to sticky. So that way you've got 2 pieces of duct tape showing on outer sides. And again, you need to have about 8 to 10 inches. And once you've done that part, you're going to cut 6 larger circles. And all I did for this is I think I used this little lint brush as a guide, and I cut 6 petals out of that, and then I cut 5 smaller petals. So here you can see the difference in size. This one's your large, this one's your small. And then I went ahead, because I'm going to do something a little creative and different, I cut 3 leaf petals from the remaining amount. So again, that's only going to take about anywhere from from 8 to 10 inches. Okay, then you're going to need a hot glue gun for this one, and then you'll need something to embellish the middle. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to put my smaller petals off to the side, and I'm just going to work right now with my larger petals. And what I've got is 6 of the larger ones, again 5 of the littler ones, and I'm going to take one of my petals, let me move everything out of my way here, I'm going to take one of my petals, and this is going to be my base. This is where I'm going to start off with. I'm going to take my hot glue gun, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first petal, and I'm going to create a seam right in the middle, so it kind of looks like this, and then I'm going to fold it on top of each other, and then I'm going to hot glue that into place. So I'm going to hot glue that in the front, hot glue it in the back. You want to be careful, glue is hot. And then I'm going to add some glue and stick it down. I'm done. That petal is done. if you remember last week, I told everybody I cannot stand using hot glue because it sticks on me. See? Ugh. Alright, so we're going to go to our next petal, and it's really that easy. So again, you're going to make a fold over, creating a little divot like this. Put your hot glue in. Put your hot glue in. And put it down. And you're going to do that all the way around. And then once you get all the way around, you're going to take your second row and you're going to do the same thing. Oops, forgot to make my little deal. Hot glue, make your little fold, and then you're going to put it right on top in between the petals all the way around. So when you're done, oh, that burns. When you're done, you'll have this. This is what you'll end up with, which is quite pretty. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side because our next type of flower is going to be these metal flowers. And it takes me a little bit of time to show you this. What I start off with is aluminum tape. You can go to your hardware store. I get this at Home Depot. This is the 2-inch. So I'm using the 2-inch size, and obviously I have a whole lot to make a whole lot of flowers. Then what I do is after I take a strip of this, and I'm just going to show you right here on this little sample for now, because I've got another piece ready to go over here, is I take alcohol ink, and if I can find what I did with my alcohol ink, oh, there it is right in front of me. Okay, so I'm going to take my applicator, and I'm going to do a couple different colors. I'll just do, just for the sake of doing this, I'll do it blue and purple. And you want to put a couple little 3 or 4 or 5 drops on in one color, in the other. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and sponge on top of my foil, creating wonderful, beautiful texture. Now, you're going to see these little lines every now and then. It doesn't matter. This particular one is extremely forgiving, and how we do it, you want that texture anyway, so it's all good. And then you're going to let that dry for a couple of minutes. It does need to dry. Now you can go back over it and adding different type of texture, giving it different design and a look. That's actually quite pretty. So that's how you start off. And like I said, you're going to let it dry. So you set it to the side, let it dry, and it only takes a couple of minutes. Alcohol ink dries really fast. Now, if you don't have alcohol ink, you can always use Sharpie pens and rubbing alcohol and create your own effect that way too on the aluminum tape. Okay, so now I already have a piece here ready to go. Now I still have my hot glue gun. It's heated up, and I'm going to use it in this one. And what I'm going to do, to start off with, you will see there's an adhesive on the back. I've got hot glue all over me. I've already stamped this one with my my alcohol ink. And now to prep this, I've trial and errored this many times. And the best way that I've come up with is just how I'm going to show you. You're going to flip it over to the side of your adhesive that's facing up on you, okay? And what you want to do is you want to fold it up until there is about 1/4 of an inch, just like what we did with the duct tape, and you want to crease down. And what I like to do is just kind of train it all the way down, give it a little help. Again, you're dealing with metal, so it's not quite the same as working with the duct tape. And this particular stuff is very, very, very sticky. I'm about to lose my scissors. So I'm going to show you why we're going to train it first. You will appreciate this because I have screwed up many pieces by doing it differently. This is probably the most stickiest adhesive I've ever encountered in my life. So now that you've got your metal trained and you've got it folded up, again showing about 1/4 of an inch, and we worked on the side with the adhesive. So now I should see a partial side. Let me turn it this way so you can see. I should see a partial side of my alcohol ink and foil tape, and then about 1/4 of an inch of the adhesive. Now I'm going to lay that facing up front towards me. And I'm going to take the corner and pull back the adhesive. This is actually the hardest part right here, is getting this little piece of tape to come off and get it started. Okay, and I have nails. Okay, so you're going to go in small little sections at a time. Trust me on this. When I say small, I mean small. You see where I'm at? That's all I pulled off. I'm going to go ahead and fold that over. Keeping a hold, I'm going to pull a little bit more out. Fold it over. Tack it down. Pull a little bit more out. Tack it down. A little bit more. Tack it down. Until you get to the very end. And I'm there. Ta-da! Okay. So now we have our piece and we're ready to go. Trust me, when I say that I've gone through plenty of trial and error getting that little part down, I did. I messed up so many I can't even begin to tell you. So now I have my sticky side facing towards me. It's on the bottom. And I have my fold facing up, just like we did with the duct tape. And I'm going to do the same thing as I started with the duct tape. I'm going to fold and crease, creating that circle again. Fold and crease. However, I'm only going to do a couple of them. Now I'm going to take my hot glue gun, just to kind of set it in there. I'm going to put a tiny little drop on each section. And that's going to help me secure that a little bit more. We're working with metal this time, so we want to make sure that we get that really secured. Okay, even though that this is some very, very, very strong adhesive, dust particles, things like that, are always going to weaken your adhesive. Okay, so again, I'm going to add beads at my fold, just quick little beads. And now I'm getting ready. Oops, there we go. Now I'm getting ready to start on my second layer. I'm using industrial hot glue, so you can only imagine what I'm going through here. Okay, now before I start on my second layer, I want to flip it over, and where I started in the beginning, I want to go ahead and tack down with my glue. You do not have to use a hot glue gun. You can use E6000, you can use whatever is going to work for you when you're putting this together. I have just found out, though, that through trial and error, that my hot glue gun works just as fine, and it does a great job. Okay, so now I'm ready for my second row. So I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing, coming around, bringing it closer into the center, bringing my folds closer into the center, going around, doing my fold and press, fold and press. Here we go. I'm going to bring that in just a little bit closer. There. And then what I want to do, before I go all the way around, I want to go ahead and tack this down. So I'm going to add some glue and glue it onto the metal. And I'm just going to hold it there for a second, just to make sure that it's got a nice little grip. And what this is going to do is allow me to keep it all together as I'm finishing up towards the end. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to crease, tuck, again, crease and tuck. I'm trying to do this so you can see it, so I'm doing it backwards. Interesting. You know how good or not good you are when you do it this way. Okay, so I've got a little bit more here, so I am going to go ahead and add some more glue. Get that to hold down, and I'm just going to hold it down for a minute. Now, every now and then you might have a little rip that happens. Don't worry about that, because I'll show you how we're going to disguise that. It's no big deal. Alright, so I'm going to continue on working towards a bud. I'm going to work really tight in here. Oops. Real super tight, and I want to create a little bud. So now I'm actually just kind of smashing, and I'm going to add some more glue before I move on, just to make sure that stays into place. So this is where I'm at. I'm working on my bud, and I've got this little tail I still need to work on. Getting that in there, that's going to create my bud. However, guess what time it is? Glue time. Okay, just to make sure that that stays down. Alright, I'm going to work on just a little bit more, and there's my bud right there in the middle. So now what I'm going to do is get underneath that bud and make sure I glue that really super well. And keep that in there and just kind of hold that down a little bit. Okay. And then from here, you can shape your flower any way that you want. You can put some little bends in it if you wish to, or just kind of keep it like this. And when I usually get here, I like to add just a couple little bends in there to make it look a little bit more realistic. And this is where we're at so far. This is what we've got. Isn't that pretty? Love it. Okay. So now what I want to do is flip my little flower over, and I have got some scrap material here that I've got a whole ton of these little sample things that I did, and I'm going to cut out a little circle out of this material, and I'm going to hot glue this on the back just to give it a little bit more of a stability. And I'm going to put that, whoops, I need more glue. There we go. And I'm just going to add my glue, making sure I get the center really well. Okay. Make sure the glue stays in the gun. And I'm going to pop my flower right on top. Make sure that it gets down to the edges. Press it down well. Now, I can do anything I want to. I can put a clip on here. I can put Velcro on here. I can do anything I want. I can even put a bobby pin, or I can glue this to a headband. I can do whatever I want. Now, I've also feel like doing a little embellishment in here. So I'm going to grab my bag of beads, or little rhinestones. And let's see, what do I want to do? I think I will do green. So I'm going to grab a little rhinestone here. Get that out of the way. And I'm going to add just a drop of glue down into the center. Come on. There we go. And I'm going to plop this little rhinestone right down in there, setting it into the middle. There. Now, I've got bling. Isn't that cute? Okay, so now my flower's almost ready to go. Well, I have another option here, and I love options. I like to have a little bit more effect and texture and design and bring out these colors a lot. So I have some green fingernail polish. This is my fingernail polish. This is one basket. I do a lot of art with fingernail polish, can you tell? Now I've also got some silver, I've got some gold, I've got all sorts of colors. I can use whatever I want. But I think that this light green is going to contrast with this other green very well. It's going to pull those highlights out. So what I'm going to do is I am going to just take my fingernail polish, and you can do this with a Sharpie too, by the way, if you want to. Make sure I get in the thing here. And I'm just going to go around some of the edges, not all. I'm just kind of scattering it around a little bit, just giving it some highlight, some color. And I don't know if the camera is going to pick this up or not, but I have to tell you, this is just beautiful. This is kind of the same thing that I did with the Soul Rose. I added chrome to that one. And then another thing I like to do is get a big, huge glob and hold it on there and let it drip. Just let it drip on the inside. Or you can brush it up against an outer petal and let it drip down. And that also gives it some beautiful texture. Just let it drip down in there. It's lovely. So pretty. And it makes it look a little bit more realistic, but with metal. And it pulls out the sheen that's in fingernail polish out beautifully. Oh, this is just absolutely gorgeous. I'm glad I picked this color. Yeah. I think I'm going to have to make this into a hairband. I think so, or a brooch, one or the other. Okay, so, and now I'm just going to do the edges a little bit. Just come around and every now and then grab a little edge and give it some color. Oh, that is so pretty. Even if I say so myself. Alright, let me see if I can get a close-up so you can see what I've done here. Okay, I'm going to try to see if you can, I don't know, because the colors are matching really super well, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see those drips in there or not. But in the light, they're just gorgeous. So that's how you do the metal flowers and the petal flowers. I hope you have enjoyed this. This is, again, part 2 tidbits of CraftyLink Tuesday Tidbits with Anne, your host for today. And if you have any questions, make sure that you use the comment section below, and I'll get back to you and answer them as best as I can. If there was something that you didn't understand or you needed a little bit more explanation on, just let me know, and I'll get back to you. So for now, take care, and we'll see you soon. And as always, I love you. Bye-bye now.